goodness, this is taking forever to get started. Let's see. All right. So, I'm new to trying this on YouTube. A couple of things right up front. I chew gum all the time, so don't text me and don't send any comments. Yeah, I chew gum. I'm going to keep chewing gum. It's a benefit from having a bad smoking habit as a young person. No, I chew gum. It's just going to happen. Just recently went on a trip back to Indiana, and along the way, we went like 6,000 miles. My wife does not like to drive, so I did most of the driving. I did almost all the driving except for 50 miles. Anyway, along the way, I saw a vision that I couldn't stop and get a picture of. Here's some of the footage from just driving, and I couldn't get out of my head. I loved the vision. Living in Arizona, you see nothing but dry earth and cactus and dirt, and I'm just tired of it. So going back to Indiana was very cool. Iowa was cool. Indiana was cool. Michigan was very cool. So I saw this along the way, couldn't get a picture of it, stuck in my mind. As soon as I got back to the RV spot where we were staying in Indiana, I doodled really quick, and which I put in the building structure. This is just kind of like a fictitious barn. But what I'm going to do, and I did this, not plein air, but sitting outside at the campground that I was in, and I ended up giving the painting away at a raffle drawing thing at the RV spot we were at. Doesn't matter to me to hang on to this stuff forever, so I have a whole closet full, but I like the painting, so I'm just going to do it again and share with the internet. Just some, I used to be an instructor for Jerry Arnell, who sadly passed away not too long ago. And I know there's not a lot of good teachers out there anymore. And I'm just willing to share and, just maybe if I can help somebody else pick up a paintbrush and get out of the noise of everyday politics and the crap that we all see on TV, well then here you go. I'm going to share as much as I can with you, and if you like it, we'll do more. That's kind of what I want to do. Anyway, rough sketch of the truck. It probably needs to go up higher. This comes down a little more. I've got it a little too close, but I'm going to keep it there. So, got the sketch in. I'll put the paints on, list them, and then what I use acrylic. I like oil painting too, but grew up learning acrylic paints from Jerry Arnell, and I'm just going to start with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to block in some sky color. So I'm going to take this. I forget the name of this. I've got a new blue that I'm using. It's called Brilliant Blue by Liquitex. I'm going to use just a touch of that with gesso. And a lot of people, and a lot of times I will underpaint these like burnt sienna, burnt umber, a gray color, whatever. I didn't on this one. Just to because honestly, when I did it, I was parked up at a RV resort, and sitting outside, it was super windy, so I had to sit in my camping chair, which I don't mind doing that a bit, and hold on to the easel with my feet and paint away. And it took me, I don't know, a few hours, I guess, to get your first one done. It was fun. I enjoyed, that was probably the most fun I had. I can't say that. It was fun. We had a great spot in Amish country. Go there just for the corn and tomatoes, my goodness. So I'm just scumbling in an undercoat with this white, with gesso, and with this brilliant blue. I'll probably just put a big happy cloud. I'm not going to be a Bob Ross, don't say that. But I just want to cover the stark white of the canvas with some color to get going, so I'll do that. That's really about all I want. This, honestly, the base of this should be lighter, so I'm going to lighten that up. And I will probably add just a touch of pink. So I'm going to take a little bit of alizarin crimson, just a tickle on the end of my brush, and come down here, and that's way too much. But no worries. Add some paint to it. Don't worry about going over your lines. My goodness. I see people draw something and then just be afraid to touch what they've drawn. Don't do that. Bring that up a little bit higher. Get some atmosphere going in here. I'm going to have some trees and stuff. All right. And there you go, a simple little sky. We'll come back, jump back on it, add more to it later. Oh, and by the way, I'm using a number 6 flat bristle brush, and this will turn into a filbert brush pretty soon because of all the scrubbing. But now I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay in some dark in here. So I'm going to take ultramarine blue, burnt umber. And my burnt umber seems to have been frozen at one point. It's all curdled, but just squish it around. And I want this on the darker side. So I've got a lot of water in it too. I'm going to put a touch of, I want it grayish, a little touch of gesso to opaque a little bit. Having a little bit of water in it will just help it spread. I just want to undercoat and kind of pick out where I'm going to have the open door. We'll come back and hit that with darker, heavier color. But again, I'm just scrubbing vertically. I'm not doing much in the way of horizontal because you want these to look like old boards, so we'll come revisit that. But for now, let's just get this coat on here of a dark color. Do be careful about the lines at the edge. Other than that, we're just filling stuff in. And again, this really was from memory. I've got a picture of the old truck, the old Dodge that I put in there as a reference. I grab reference photos wherever I can, and I have way too many photos of stuff that I want to paint and not nearly enough time. As it is, I'm sure, with everybody in the world. All the things you want to do. All right. Building, that's it. Now I want these areas to be darker, so I'm going to come back in, same mixture, the burnt umber, and I'm going to take the ultramarine blue again, and this time I'm not going to add any white to it. And, it doesn't have to be mixed up all that good. And I'm going to add a touch of dioxazine purple to it too. Now I'm going to come in here, and this is where I'll pick out, just dab in. But you can see by not adding the amount of water and the gesso, how much darker this looks. And again, we're just filling in. Make sure you don't leave a hard edge anywhere. Even this edge over here, Don't leave a ridge. They're difficult to paint over and to make it look right. So there's a dark. Yeah, you can already, looks like you're looking into the building. And let's get this, and so I will just use my finger as a guide to come down. I will make one vertical stroke here, but come back and get rid of that line. You're gonna have old boards up here anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And you can see it's a little bit brown, so I'm gonna add a little bit more ultramarine blue. Doesn't need to be mixed up that great. And I'm using a canvas board. I'm not using a 3/4 inch canvas or 1/2 inch canvas. Canvas boards, especially when you're traveling, are much easier to travel with than regular canvases that inevitably I'll poke a hole in doing something. These you don't poke holes in too much. You can't. You can scratch them. And there. Now I want to just put in a little bit of a ridge line. So I am out of ultramarine blue. I'll add a little bit more here. And I want to try and make these into, like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, whatever, how many sessions it takes to finish the painting, so that anybody out there that does want to follow along, this will just kind of give you a stage. Yeah, get to this stage and then take a break. I know from teaching in the past that even me personally now, still, if I paint more than 3, 4 hours, I get a backache. Old man crap. And then pull out from here. So these look like old rusted, they will end up looking like old rusted pieces of corrugated metal. And you can see this time I'm going horizontally, doing that intentionally because the surface of the old corrugated metal is running that direction. So I'll keep it going that way. Just trying to cover the canvas with something right now. That happens a lot with acrylic, and don't make that even. If it's too straight, it won't look right. And we'll just come out down here a little bit. Just clean off my brush because I know this needs to be dark. And I'm just getting excess paint out and kind of feathering it in so I don't have any lumpy clumps. Good. Okay. Simple. I'm going to probably save the truck for last, get all the background noise done first. When you're cleaning your brush out, don't put it in the water immediately. Try and get as much of the paint out as you can. This way you can keep your water for like 6 or 7 years before you change it, like I do. You can actually paint with the water left over in my bucket. It dries out here in Arizona, where I live. It's so dang dry, it dries out. So I'm going to come back to this white and blue and just kind of load my brush up with a little bit of that. But then I'm going to take some, and I didn't have any green when I was doing this original painting, but I got green here. So I'm going to take some Hooker's green over here. Just find a spot, some dioxazine purple. And probably a little bit more gesso. Just kind of want a grayish green. And let's see how that looks. That's a little dark, actually. Add a little more white to it, or gesso. Jerry always used to holler at me for saying white. It's gesso. It's a difference. And I do use titanium white for other stuff. Now, here's where you just want to start making some and I'm lightly scrubbing this, real light. I want to just make some distant trees for interest. This will fall back when you start putting some other trees in the front. And lighter, lighter, lighter. Try and get inside. I know there's going to be a window here, so I got to get something in there. So now I'm just cleaning out the brush. And now it's almost out of paint. I'm actually going to take and pull some paint out. And now I'll come back and soften up so I don't have any hard lines. I want this to be really super blurry back here. So I will just scrub. And here in Arizona, I'm going to have to add just a touch of water to kind of re-emulsify that. But I don't want it to be, I don't want real distinct hard lines yet. We'll get to those later. There. Now, that to me, I'm happy with that. I might bring this up to kind of even the painting out just a little bit. Bring something up over here so that it points in here. I've got this Z going right here, doing like this and then up. But you don't want to come flying back this way and have nothing to stop your eye. So I'll add this in as kind of an eye stopper. I don't mind that. Okay, down here on the base of this, this dark color I've got here, the blue, the ultramarine blue, the burnt umber. All right, I had some technical difficulties back. Oh, no. So I'm going to come back into this ultramarine blue, burnt umber, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some, it's not cadmium orange anymore, but it's orange. I'll get you the name. It's posted up here. So I'm just going to I want an orange, and I'm going to add a little bit of gesso, a little more orange, a little more gesso, maybe a touch of blue, purple. I just want this under the dirt. We'll come back and add highlights to this dirt later. And you can easily come in and grab a little bit of your gesso, lighten this up. I'm going to grab a little more orange and gesso. The way that I like to do this, I'm going to get some light. Like if there's trees over here on this side, I want the light to be shining this way. So you're going to want, and this is going to be in shadow, the front of the barn. But notice I'm not making an even line across here. Okay. Now, coming a little bit closer, things always tend to get a little bit warmer, so I'm going to add a little more orange and white and orange and gesso. Orange and gesso. Smear it in there. Gesso, orange on my brush, not mixed up, just here. Look at the mottled look of this. Looks way more like dirt than trying to paint a wall. You're not trying to get a solid color. Scrub it in color, that's all I'm doing. Now I'm cleaning my brush out. Okay, and Z. Now Now I'm going to jump back over to the Hooker's Green. I'm going to grab some purple, a touch of burnt sienna, a touch of gesso, a little more green so we know it's actually a greenish color, but I want it dark. And all I'm going to do is pick out the hair from my brush. We're adding, this is where grass is going to live, maybe some grass over here. Pull up with that. Again, I'm mixing paint really on the canvas, which is the way you should do it sometimes. I like that. Now I'll take some green and maybe a touch of orange and just vary the color a little bit so we know we just have some mottled looking area again. Simple. It's a mess. Perfect mess. Basic, just trying to cover the canvas. Everything can be fixed, gone over, redone. Now I've done what I don't like doing is I've made a comb. I don't like evenly spaced areas of grass sticking out like that, so I'll come back and fix that real quick. And then down here in the corner, I'm going to grab more of the Hooker's Green, dioxazine purple, a little bit of burnt umber, touch of ultramarine blue. This I want to be dark. Touch more blue, purple, green. There we go. Covering the canvas. That's all I want to do. Now you can almost see why you could just drive right in this driveway and pick up this old truck for a song. I love collecting. I like old cars. I'm going to add a little bit of grass against the building. It'll be over here like that. Maybe a touch of grass right in through here. Now I'm just kind of picking spots to get covered. That is all I want to do. Let's do one more thing. Again, I'm going to squeeze the paint out of my brush. And then clean it out. The window back here, I don't want dark. I want that to be that tree color green I've got back here. So we'll just get that filled in real quick. And you notice I'm just not giving a crap about the line. Yeah, a little bit, staying in some kind of a line, but as I come back in and make this darker and darker and darker, I can straighten that up real easily. That's step one, okay? Now, I'll share with you my little secret. You can take these paints, spray them down just a little bit, mist them. I'll take my brush. I'm going to put it into a store bag, whatever, soaking wet, wrap it up. I bet I've had the brush in here since Sunday night, 4 days ago, and it was still wet when I got it out this morning. You can take this whole mess right here, put your stay wet lid on it, make sure it's sealed, Ask your significant other if it's okay if you take some space in the refrigerator. Put that in the refrigerator. I've had it last. I've got paintings I've been working on for a couple of months. I know I've had it last for up to 6 months in the refrigerator. So anyway, that's step one. When we come back on the next one, we will start refining the painting. We'll probably underpaint the old truck and get that laid in, and then add some trees. Have a lot to do, not a lot to do. This is really a simple painting, but a quite cool one. So join me if you want to. Hey, take care. Thank you.